Heidi, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I have to start by apologizing to you because, and I'll be honest, we're a young podcast, but we don't have a good track record in this. Your appearance was booked, and then the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. But how are you feeling?
I actually love that I get to talk about it because I'm not really a trash talker in any way, and it's hard to like say how I feel because, you know, I was at the Super Bowl, and my job as a Chiefs fan, what I believe, I've been one since I'm a baby. I'm from Kansas City. They have given me so much life in my life and so much happiness, wins, losses. It's just what my family loves. As a fan, all I'm doing is sending love. Like the last 3 Super Bowls, I have just, when things were tight, and it wasn't tight this time, even when they weren't tight.
Crazy.
I start manifesting, I close my eyes, and I just start thinking about red and yellow confetti. And that's just where I'm at, and that's like my job. So that's all I was doing Sunday. So I'd been trying to keep it positive. Now I am grieving, and I am starting to read articles. And I'm starting just to get a little upset about the narrative.
And let's talk about it.
At the beginning of the season, a lot of people were talking trash on the Eagles. I just want to say that. They had a slow start.
Okay.
And then it is funny to see narratives change. By the end, it's like, this was the greatest team of all time.
We all knew it was coming. It was written in destiny. Yes. We all saw.
These were the greatest players. People were. I was never talking trash on Hurts. People were talking trash on him. You know? Like, he's incredible. He's always been incredible. I'm just saying.
Narratives
change.
Yes.
As well as ours
has
changed.
Yes.
The other one that's bugging me are just a few quotes that were just like, Chiefs didn't show up, didn't try. There's no one on that field, either team, either coach, that doesn't get to the Super Bowl and isn't like, this is the biggest stage of my life.
Can you imagine being like, oh, this again?
Yeah.
One of these again?
Yes.
I'm not even going to try.
But I just overall, I'm just frustrated. We were never the enemy. Like, we are not this evil empire that people think we are. Like, my entire life before 7 years ago was very up and down.
Yeah.
You know, like we had so many heartbreaks, and we just love our football team. I'm just.
What do you want from me? I'm sending love and light. I'm picturing red and yellow confetti.
There was a headline recently that was like the Eagles used the like copyrighted three-peat thing as motivation, bulletin board material. I love bulletin board material. We use it. The Chiefs have used it before. I also just want to say, I don't know that it was the Chiefs that were copywriting three-peat. We are a pretty humble team that was trying not to say. I don't even think any of the organization, including Andy Reid, was ever trying to like put that in players' minds. I think we were trying to ignore that. That's like a huge weight on your shoulder, obviously. But obviously everyone's going to talk about it. The Chiefs weren't saying three-peat.
Right.
I run the tape.
Yeah.
We weren't saying it. If anything, it's like, that would be so cool, a chance to make that sort of history, but it's one game at a time.
We were talking on our podcast earlier this week about the Swifties are like kind of acting out right now online. I feel like that's them processing loss for the first time. Now, as a Chiefs fan who has been around for loss, I was wondering if you had any advice to Swifties, to young female Chiefs fans who are feeling for the very first time, because you remember, I mean, we were young when we experienced our first like devastating sports loss.
Yes, I remember.
But imagine having to go through that right now.
I think take that sadness and grief and manifest it in all of the things that make you a Swiftie, which what I can tell from the Eras Tour are like positivity and light and making bracelets, and like make more bracelets for comeback next year, put the numbers of the next Super Bowl on it, put the Chiefs. Like my mom would always say when the Royals were in the World Series in like 2015, we would be out to a restaurant and she would ask the waiter, she'd be like, who are you rooting for in the World Series? And they'd be like, oh, I don't really care. And she's like, oh, your team's not in it? And they were like, no. And she's like, would you mind rooting for the Royals?
Oh, my God.
I used to get so embarrassed. I was like, so maybe Swifties just go out and ask people to root for the Chiefs.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, would you mind? Could you spare rooting for my team?
Yes.
You a big Royals fan as well?
Yeah.
How are they? I haven't paid attention to the Royals in a second. They good?
Yeah, we made the playoffs last year.
Of course.
Yeah, and we've got Bobby Witt Jr., so we're feeling good.
Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
for a sports fan.
Yeah.
How crazy did that feel?
Really crazy. And this is, I guess I have to say, this is the second year in a row. I did it last year, and the Chiefs won that year, and that felt really special.
Yes.
I kind of thought, well, that magic, if I'm playing on the screen, and then it'll all work out. But, I mean, it's amazing. I think back to, like, little version of myself and tell her, like, the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl and you're on a commercial. Life is cool.
Yeah, they're going to be there, and you're going to talk about homes.com.
Yes.
And you'll be on SNL.
Yes. It's good
Incredible.
times. It's good times.
Are a lot of your castmates sports fans?
Mikey Day, he'll wear a Chiefs hat for me at good nights.
Oh,
if I'm
my
like, will you
God.
wear it? So a lot of people are sweet, and they're like, I'm just rooting for the team that you like because you really like them a lot. And I know it means a lot to you. Yeah.
You realize that's you're carrying on your mom's energy.
I know. I fully get it. I used to be so embarrassed by it, and I'm like, I am her.
Yeah. Because like you said, when you're watching a game, your only job is to bring positivity and love.
Yes.
And so if it's a numbers game, the more people you can have positively thinking and loving your team, the more likely they are to succeed.
Yes. I've told our GM, Brett Beach, so many times, I've been like, I was like, number one, this isn't something I would charge for. This is volunteer work. But like, if you need like a big sister to come to the game, hug, give Gatorades, pep talks, like also just like, I don't know what my role is, but I just know that maybe maybe some people would like, I would even hug the other team.
How's that helping?
I feel bad when the other team loses.
Oh, okay.
So, I would hug. I'm just like...
the Chiefs bring their own lady who comforts you after they beat you. It's kind of a flex. She just comes over. She's on SNL. She comes over and she hugs you. She's on the Chiefs staff.
I've DM'd players that have plays in games that people are famously like, oh, that lost the game or something. And I've written them and just
Shut
been
up.
Like, I hope you know, like... You are so amazing, and you were doing everything you could for your team to win. And like,
Can you remember specifically anybody you've sent these to?
I have. I don't want to say because I don't want to bring up their a play that was not good.
You don't want them to remember a play they probably are already haunted by?
Yes. But I need to talk to some football players and actually ask, is this necessary? Would you guys want this? I know that there's team therapists, but I'm like, what about just an unassuming woman who's not trying to get with you?
And not qualified. Not trained, not formally trained, but also not here to hook up.
Yes.
Who just wants to hug you and comfort you.
All the hotels that I have stayed at in the cities where the Super Bowls are, in the shower, on the glass, in the steam, I will write so many messages to the Chiefs, like in an insane way, so that it's just plastered on the walls.
Like full sentences?
Yes, Chiefs, I love you. Chiefs, be yourselves. Remember to be yourselves. Then I do all their numbers. I do Coach Andy Reid. I do players from the past. I mean, I'm trying to do what I think is my duty, which is just to like give love. That's the only thing that I think might be missing. I think it's like you need like determination and aggression and great coaching. And I'm like, I just want to make sure there's like love.
I mean, you're laughing, but that's like a profound thing for the world, but also especially for sports.
Yeah.
That part does seem to get discounted.
Yeah.
The love part.
I love the part during the game. It's so hard when someone like fumbles, but I love immediately when the players come over to each other and they try to get that player's confidence back up. And then the next play, they usually give that guy the ball. And like, I love that. That's love.
Would you say that's what you like the most about sports? I'm trying to understand people's connections to sports, and I'm most fascinated in women because I think that sports has always been marketed to men. Of course, I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, but I feel like when I meet women that are connected to sports, I like to like zoom in on what it is that connects them to it so that I can show that to other women and be like, see, it's also for us.
Yes.
It's not just for them. So if we zoom in on what connects you to sports, is that it? Those moments of the...
It's that, and it goes back also to my mom. It's like my mom was the one who got me into sports. She was watching Chiefs games. She's from Chicago. She just embraced it. She embraced that it was like community. It was something that she could watch with other people and have fun. She liked to rep her team. She liked how it would connect her with like people in any city of the world.
So
like,
true.
She lived in Texas for a while, Longhorns fan, you know, so when she would see a Longhorns t-shirt, she would love to just say, "Hook 'em, honey." Like, and she would laugh so much that like her and a stranger connected over that, and that everyone just kind of got a laugh, you know? Like, it's the great connector. It's like when I can be shy, like I said, and if I am just meeting someone, you know, it's easy for me to just ask where they're from and then be like, "Oh, are you a this or that fan?" And we might then have something to talk about.
Heidi, this was so cool. I'm so happy to have talked to you about sports.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry about the Chiefs.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that was, and I appreciate you coming in today in spite of the fact that the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.